Hey guys, it is Brian, and in this video I'm going to show you how to record games on Linux using the Hauppauge HD PVR Rocket. So, when you want to record something in Linux, whether it's a game or anything else, you generally have to use a software solution, something like a Kazam or more commonly a simple screen recorder, which is a really great application. But if you're recording any sort of 3D application like a game, for example, any sort of software recorder is going to tax the CPU and possibly the GPU. It's going to lower your frame rate no matter what you do. Fortunately, there are hardware solutions such as this PVR Rocket here, and this is by Hauppauge. It's actually a very simple device. The only problem is that there are no native Linux drivers, and I suppose that's to be kind of expected. It'd be really cool if there were, but instead Linux is going to detect this thing as another monitor, and I'll show you how that works in a second. So this isn't like a review or unboxing or anything. I'm just going to show you how to plug this thing in and make it work. So this device is really simple. On the back you've got HDMI in, HDMI out, you've got AV in, but that means nothing to us. And of course you have the USB. So it's important to note that you have to have HDMI. You can use a DVI splitter or converter to HDMI, that works just fine, but of course it only uses HDMI. And on the front you've got your USB, put a USB stick in there, something similar, and you've got a microphone jack. This can actually record your microphone, but it makes it as part of one track, part of the video, and it makes it difficult to edit, so I have absolutely no use for this. It's probably good if you're recording on like an Xbox, but that's not what we're doing here. So on the top, here are some touchscreen controls for the microphone and increasing the decibel level and stuff like that, and then this is of course to record. And there's LEDs and things, and I'll show you that here in a moment. So the device itself comes with one HDMI cable, so it's assumed that you're going to have another HDMI cable. If you don't have one, you gotta go buy one. And it also comes with its own USB cable. So this USB cable is somewhat unique in that it has, this is going to plug into the PVR Rocket, and then this is going to plug into your computer. You can use both of them. I believe that the red plug is for Xbox, I think, and the black plug is for computer, but it doesn't matter because the Linux is going to register it as a monitor anyway, so it doesn't matter which one you use. So my monitor is blank right now because it's not plugged in, the USB isn't plugged in, but this will give you an idea of how to do it. HDMI in on the right hand side plugs into your computer, and HDMI out plugs into your monitor. So let's go ahead and plug it into USB. Alright, so if you can ignore the mess of wires in the background, you can see that the PVR Rocket is plugged in. You can see this thing, it's touchscreen. Of course, we have I have no use for it. You may like to use the I guess if you're just doing like a screencast, it'd be fine. But if you're recording gaming, like I record gaming, I need to fine tune the audio, so I can't have it as part of the video track, so it means nothing to me. So right now it's blinking red, and that is because we do not have a USB stick plugged into it. So let's go ahead and do that. Now that that is in, it will continue to blink red until it detects the USB stick. You notice that I have the black USB dongle plugged in, the red one is not plugged in at all. And there is the green light. So let's take a look at the monitor. Alright, so I don't know if you can see it very well in the video. Unfortunately, the only way for me to blow this screen up is for me to change the resolution. But it says here that it is an HD PVR Rocket. The resolution is 920 by 1080, that's preferred. Now, I had a problem with my previous monitor, and the maximum resolution was only 1050. It was 1600 by 1050 or something like that. The PVR Rocket always wants to default to 920 by 1080. So the problem that I had with that monitor, as soon as I plugged it in, it would default to 1080p, 1080i or whatever this is, and my screen would go black, and I would have to unplug it and plug it back in, and sometimes it would revert to 720p or sometimes even 1050p. It was very inconsistent. I couldn't get it to work, so I just ended up saying screw it, and I actually just bought this monitor last weekend, so everything else about it is customizable, like the PVR. This is the Catalyst Control Center. If you're using Mesa, you'll probably use the built-in display thing. You can't really do a whole lot with it, but you'll probably use this. Notice how it says Hauppauge Computer Works because it detects this as a monitor. If you're using NVIDIA, you'll have the NVIDIA Control Center. I don't know anything about that. You can force it to do all sorts of weird things. You can change the resolution, because again, it's not detecting my HP monitor, it's detecting the PVR Rocket as its own monitor, and you can change the pixel format, and of course if you do that, you could accidentally jack up your monitor, so you probably don't want to mess around with this. So let's go ahead and fire up a game. So right now I'm recording this with my Amazon Fire Phone. I'm going to switch to the PVR Rocket, and we're going to play a game. Alright, so now we are recording on the PVR Rocket. As you can see here, if you didn't see it in the previous video, you can see that it is detecting it as monitor. So if you like to record your voiceovers like I do and you record them in a separate track, the only way that I found to do that is to actually tell Pulse Audio to do a simultaneous output thing, and you do that by going to Pulse Audio Preferences. If you don't have it, you have to get your hands on it, download it. There's a simultaneous output option. You just do add virtual output device for simultaneous outputs on all sound devices, and that's what it is here. So a weird side effect is that right now if I play a game, all of the sound output is going to come through the HDMI, which is the PVR Rocket, my USB headset, which is what I have on right now, but also my analog stereo. So I actually have to turn my stereo off, otherwise sound will come out of that. So it's kind of weird. There's also a weird latency problem that I've run into, and you actually solve that by opening Pulse Audio volume control, and that smooths out the latency. I have no idea why, but it's a very strange side effect. I don't know, it might actually be a bug. I'm not really sure how to address it. But now that we're recording, let's go ahead and dive into a game. So War Thunder is an easy enough game. Let's dive in. Alright, so here we are. Let's go ahead and go to battle. Alright folks, that is how you record games on Linux using the HD PVR Rocket, or really any external device. Any device should be detected by Linux as another monitor. You will probably never find, at least as of April 2015, you won't find a external recording device that has native drivers for Linux, unless it's specifically meant for like a Myth TV sort of recording TV shows or something like that. But something like this, you're just not going to find it, which is unfortunate, because the Hauppauge devices actually come with their own editing software, which looks pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it here, because if you're here to find out how to record games on Linux, you probably don't want to sit here and watch me play a game of War Thunder. So thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments.